Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We're working on the red PJ today. Of course, refer to video 1, setting the neck and doing all the string spacing. And we wired up all the pickups, the pick guard, pots, all that stuff. We are moving on to mechanicals, which is tuning machines. And then we're going to string it and hopefully get some sound out of this guitar today. Let's get to work. So remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. Let's get down here on the business end of what we're doing, which is right here. I've already put these 3 in. There is no template for this that I have. I'm sure one exists. I don't have one on. I've done a million of these. You have to measure, remeasure, measure again. The only hole that is consistent is obviously the machine where the string peg goes through, but you got to get them lined up and you got to get them oriented correctly. Now, a jazz bass head is not symmetrical. It's oblong and it's got curves and different angles. So some of it is eyeballing and some of it is measuring. And like when you get up, the measurement that I used here, here, and here is not going to work up here because the headstock starts to kind of curve around and that sexy jazz bass headstock curve. So really, the only thing you can do is get these lined up where you think it's pretty close by eyeball. You can do something like this and measure and get it close to what the measurement is on the other ones. Pretty much, you got to eyeball it, this last one. And I've run into that before. Some of them are even harder than others. These have 4 screws each. Excuse me. It's best to just eyeball it and look down there and make sure that everything is symmetrical. You know, they line up and they look right. Once you're there, it's a matter of, taking a leap of faith. And let's get it set where I think we're going to be happy. And I'm going to call that it right there. Mark the 2 bottom ones first. Then double check, make sure. Because now's the time to move it or wiggle it if you have to. And I'm going to call that good. It looks very close and symmetrical. I like that. And the overall appearance, and nobody ever looks at the back of the headstock except the guy that's working on your guitar. The overall appearance is straight, in line, symmetrical. Why didn't I mark the other 2 holes? Because I have found that get these in first, make sure it doesn't wiggle around too much, and then once that's secure with these 2, the other 2 will fall in place. If you try to do them all 4 at once, you're going to move it around. Get it centered. Now, this neck was in my parts bin. It's a bird's eye maple, beautiful neck. It's a Warmoth. I've had it on other guitars. I think this is going to be its forever home because I'm done moving it around. I had to actually, last video, we plugged all the existing holes because these are fender tuners. I think I had shallers on there before that actually transferred to the next guitar. Once we get these on there, it's going to live like this. This guitar is going to find a home with someone. Now, before you go drilling and screwing it in, just make sure everything lines up and it looks symmetrical. Your holes centered. And I like it. I like it a lot. So obviously I did the other 3 already to save video time, but I'm going to show you how I do these. And again, the reason I do the 2 bottom ones first is to get it lined up. And then we're going to drill the top ones because it'll be held and secured in place. Make sure you're using the right pilot drill. You do not want these to go in excessively tight because, as I said before a million times on other projects, other repairs, if you're not drilling a big enough pilot hole, these small screws like this will, if you really have to pressure put them in and they're not going in easily but snugly, when you go to pull them out at some point, it's maple. They're going to get stuck in there, and when you try to back it out, it's going to snap off and you're going to have a stud left down in there. So the last part is to just center your other two holes and go to town. And for crimey's sakes, you don't need to go too far in. Don't go through. All of the holes that I filled in the back of this headstock are completely covered by the tuning machines, the plate, what have you. You go through, you're going to have something showing on the other side that you don't want. If you're not sure, measure and put tape on your drill bit. After you've done a million of these like I have, you get a little adventurous and you eyeball it. These are going to be nice. They're fender replacement, genuine parts. It pains me greatly to say, though, made in South Korea. Now, I'm going to say one other thing about that. I've gotten Corona California parts that were not as good as stuff made in South Korea, and vice versa. So you're kind of at the mercy of the global economy and modern day life these days. You know, follow. Let's put our drill bit away and get our plastic off of there. Back in centered here. Now, because it's a base, it's humongous and it doesn't want to fit. Away. Kind of curious to see what this guitar is going to sound like. Eventually, we're probably going to upgrade pickups, but for today's purposes, we're using donor pickups that came out of another guitar. You know, it's not going to go put expensive stuff in it on the first build, mock-up, as it were. Coming off of here. Stand by while I peel all these condoms off. So as usual, this neck has been sitting for a while and it hasn't been treated in, well, at least a couple of years. Yeah, it's a little dry. I already polished up the frets off camera. So we're going to put some oil on it. I know you guys have seen this a million times, but yeah, gotta do it. It just helps a lot. And we're gonna string it up. I'm gonna put donor strings on it. I had them on the Squire when I first got this. I put a set of strings on it just to see what it sounded like, and there wasn't much to get it to sound. I had to tap wires, and because when I got it there was no pick guard on it, no control. The cavity was half wired up, half not, so I tapped it together and made a sound out of it. But soon, in short order, I realized that the neck that was on it when I bought it for $40 was, well, it was twisted down here, and that's why I dug out this neck out of my parts bin. Can't fix a twisted neck unless you want to go through the process of heating and twisting it back, and was a Squire neck. Why would you bother with all that? You follow my meaning. Let's see, we polished the frets. Are we getting any tarnish? Nope. High quality Warmoth necks. I love them. They are really stout gear. I have a Warmoth neck on 2 of my guitars. I have a Mexican neck on 1 of them, and now I got a Warmoth neck on this one. So yeah, I don't know if I might keep this guitar. I might sell it if the right person comes along that needs a PJ. This is really a jazz bass body with P bass pickups and a jazz bass pickup, but call it a PJ, call it what you want. It's going to rock, I can tell you that. I have confidence. I'm getting excited too because we're pretty close to getting some strings on it and making it make sound, I hope. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I think that, and you can, of course, that's always a big reveal moment when you oil a dry board. I say it over and over again. I know some of you guys think I'm a parrot. I just keep repeating myself, but some people haven't seen it. One last little pass. You don't want to leave a whole bunch of that on there, but you don't want to take it all off. You want to kind of rub it in so you're not putting a lot of pressure. You're just letting it absorb in. And over the next couple of days, it really absorbs in, but it stays that deep, rich color for quite some time. A couple of my other guitars, I just did a couple of shows with them. I think when I restring them, I'm going to oil the boards because I'd have to look at the calendar, but I'm pretty sure they're due. I do that once a year on my own guitars. So, strings. Strings, strings, strings. Don't usually save strings. Once they come off, I get rid of them. These came off of another guitar that I was working on, and they were brand new. I don't know, brand new to the customer that had the guitar in here. I asked him if he wanted them back. He said, no, you keep them. All right. We're going to use them as mock-up strings on this guitar. If I can get them opened without making too much of a mess. Let's see if I can tell by eyesight which one's which. So, basic stuff. Now remember, in the first video, we took the time to string space and set the neck and get, our spacing here, so we should be good. We should be good. If not, well, we're going to have to stop, back up, and adjust. I don't think we'll have to. Pretty sure it's going to be good. These look like kind of short. I might have too much string there. We'll see. We'll be all right. So far, so good. We got really good string spacing across the pickup on the low E. And judging by the way that I measured the neck angle, and we don't even have tension on it yet, we could end up pulling this neck off a couple of times because the adjustment for this Warmoth neck is down here, but we won't know that until we get to doing the full setup here shortly. So stand by while I get the rest of these strings on. So all strung up. Little oil's bleeding through. I should have taken a little more off. The neck relief, it's a lottery because you're kind of guessing at, it's like pulling a slot machine to kind of set it where you think the neck relief wants to be with these. So I'm pretty sure it looks too straight. I'm going to measure it now and see, yeah, it's too straight. Not surprised by that. Not really surprised by that. It's tuning up good. It's not really buzzing, but it will. There's no way it can't buzz, being as straight as it is. It needs more relief in it. I'm just curious where the string action is. Remember, brand new build, you never know what these things are going to do sometimes. You can only take your best guess. Pretty close. Pretty close. And this is all due to your mock-up that you did. Your mock-up, if you take time and make sure that your neck angle is right in relation to your bridge and your saddles, you should be okay. Let's get them set a little straighter because they're all kind of everywhere. I want them level. I know this one's a little high. The G was a little high. Down and get them set where they're supposed to be, and then we're really going to concentrate on neck relief, which, well, unfortunately requires taking the neck off probably more than once, but that's the way it is. I went too far, but at least we can get a sound out of it. At least we can get a sound out of it today. All right, where you at? Perfect. Perfect. A little low. Let's get the A up just a bit. I can live with that. I can live with that. 5/64, so all the way across. So we're going to retune and plug it in. Let's see what it does. Yeah, see, we lowered the string action, and lo and behold, you know, it's kind of wanting to hit the fret. I'm going to say, yeah, the E is definitely banging because the fretboard's just too straight. Could definitely play it and see what it sounds like. Stand by while I get my bass amp cooked up here. Well, I can plug it in here just for testing purposes. Getting some buzzing. Especially in the open E. Nothing else wants to buzz. G's buzzing. So we know this, this is because the neck is too straight. And that's because, I can't just go in there like in a Mexican or a Bullet or whatever and adjust it on the fly. Got to de-string it, pull the neck off, reach in there, make my best guess adjustment, and go from there. And it's going to require a couple of times doing it. And I'm not going to do it on camera, of course, because it just does take too much time. One other thing I wanted to check. Could be that the low E nut slot is think we got a low E nut sluts. Well, once we get the neck relief set correctly, then I'll be able to check that again, because neck relief will affect that first fret action. So we're going to stop there. We're going to call this a success. We got the guitar together and it's playing. I mean, I didn't play it out of a bass amp, but I know we're there. I suppose we could run it through a bass amp. Stand by. So yeah, we're through a bass amp now. Sounds like a P bass. Put the J bass pickup on. It's not as powerful as my regular basses because, well, it doesn't have quarter pounders in it, but it's a pretty nice little guitar. I mean, it's going to play really nicely. I'm going to upgrade the pickups. I like it better without the bridge pickup. It's got more thumb. Almost like that takes away from it. I mean, the P bass, that's what you want. Success. So the guitar is put together and it's playing well, well enough, being that the neck is too straight, of course, but we're going to get to that. Not today, not in this video. It takes too much time, and it may come on and off a couple of times, and I'm not gonna do that in the video. You got to take the strings off. You got to adjust it to where you think it's going to be the best, and then go from there and keep bolting the neck back on. Once you get it set, then you can finish up the setup, the intonation, and all that stuff. But yeah, for a $40 guitar, I mean, I had a neck hanging around because the neck that came on it was twisted. I had everything in here is donated, but I'm going to play it at the next session once I get the neck relief set, and yeah, we'll see what it really does once you heat it up in a playing atmosphere. It's Blackjack with 396 guitars, red PJ, bird's eye maple neck, nondescript pickups. They're all Fender pickups, but they're not quarter pounder Seymour Duncans like I use. That's coming at a later date, of course. We'll talk soon. Remember to dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe.